Earlier this week, South Africa and the governments of the Netherlands and Denmark launched a $1 billion green hydrogen fund. Under its transition plan, South Africa aims to become an export hub for green hydrogen, a fuel made using renewable energy and without greenhouse gas emissions. The Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte described the plan as a huge opportunity. Our correspondent Innocent Semosa joins me from Johannesburg, South Africa. Good afternoon, Semosa. It's good to have you on the program.
A very good afternoon to you, Will, and thank you so much for having me.
Now, Semosa, how huge of an opportunity is the deal for South Africa?
Indeed, Will, a lot of money, lots of plans, and it comes down to implementation, if you like. So the president, in his closing remarks, he indicated that the Netherlands and Denmark are actually the important trading partners in South Africa. Well, both prime ministers, they came with a delegation, 130 business representatives coming to South Africa. They say that they've got faith in South Africa. They believe that South Africa has the resources to actually put together this green transition. And of course, there's just over 100 billion rands worth of trade between these three countries. In fact, the biggest export last year, it was coal that South Africa did to these two countries was coal. As you'd know, that the two countries are actually having challenges with electricity because of the geopolitical challenges in the UK. But of course, going back to your question, how big is this opportunity? I guess perhaps we should talk about because they're coming to South Africa. South Africa is going through a lot of challenges, and it doesn't look like they're doing South Africa a favor. As I've indicated, that they're coming with 130 business representatives. So that just goes to tell you that they're looking for business opportunities in South Africa. So they're not necessarily coming to actually help South Africa, but in fact, they're here to look for business opportunities. And I'm saying that, in fact, because they said that they're not going to wait for government to put things in order. In fact, they will do it themselves. So again, it tells you that they really want to move forward in terms of, looking for better business prospects and expanding their markets in South Africa with regards to this green transition, Will.
Okay, so you talked about them coming in because they're not doing South Africa a favor, but do you think the 1 billion green hydrogen fund is an overly ambitious one? Especially, we all know Eskom's financing troubles.
In fact, you hit it on the nail. I couldn't agree with you more. South Africa is facing the energy crisis, unemployment, high unemployment, inflation. The electricity problem is not making it easy for small and medium enterprises. But they decided to come to South Africa. In fact, President Cyril Ramaphosa said to set up this green transition, they would have to put together some 319 billion rands. This is about just over 17 billion US dollars. But just to take you back, Will, in 2021, the countries, the likes of Germany, France, the UK, the USA, they pledged about 8.5 billion US dollars to South Africa towards this green transition. So these are just pledges, and at times people get too excited, and at times these pledges are not followed through, and sometimes these companies don't really redeem these pledges, as you would have seen this previous, South Africa Investment Conference, where trillions of rands were pledged by different companies. But at the end of the day, you would find that some of these pledges are really not followed through. So I get a sense that the problem here is beyond money. It's the problem basically is managing the money. South Africa is a beautiful continent, is a beautiful country, but the problem again, it seems as though it's poorly managed at times from its leaders. So you would see from the likes of ESCOM, for an example, they would use money for unbudgeted project. They would not prioritize funding. At the end of the day, they'll go back to Treasury, ask for more money. And when they ask from Treasury, it boils down to the fiscus, the tax, and it leaves many consumers out of pocket. So it's the problem here. So it's about managing the money. So also these are pledges. Sometimes they're not followed through. It's overly ambitious at times, whereby people just get excited because of these big numbers. At times, they're not really followed through well.
That's what I think France's President Emmanuel Macron is trying to straighten out at the ongoing new Global Finance Pact Summit in France right now, because a lot of countries pledged $100 million yearly for climate financing, but we've not seen any come through, as you've mentioned. But what other barriers do you think are there that would hinder this project in South Africa from making the country the plan of becoming an export hub for green hydrogen?
Well, there are a number of factors, Will, the likes of the economy, technology, financing, and of course also the skill set. But beyond that, I get a sense that there are some political parties in parliament, the likes of the parties that call themselves Pan-Africanists and those who are subscribe to communism. They really don't like this green transition, the likes of the economic freedom fighters. In fact, as we get closer to the 2024 elections, many South Africans, they are really angry. They're not happy with the African National Congress. In fact, some of them speaking to me that they will punish the ANC at the polls. So if they do that, this could very well be that the likes of the economic freedom fighters, who are these are parties that are against this green transition, they would have more numbers in parliament. As a result of this, they would be able to table motions to essentially block this process from essentially moving forward. So in other words, they are Parliament, through passing of laws, they can actually table these, motion of no confidence with regards to this particular green transition. So it really remains to be seen whether or not this will move forward. Also, again, it boils down to how they're going to manage the money that, if they indeed receive the money for this green transition, it really remains to be seen whether or not this will go to the projects, as we've seen, whereby some leaders get tempted and there's big numbers, so they tend to use the money for something else. So it really remains to be seen whether or not this money will indeed, do what they said it's supposed to do. Well.
Thanks so much, Innocent Samosa, our correspondent, Channel TV correspondent in Johannesburg, South Africa, for sharing those insights. And we'll look forward to more good news from South Africa.
100%. Thank you so much, Will.